About Mr. Raymond John Sr. I want to briefly mention some stuff he has done. He's an instructor at San Juan College, helps train workforces, particularly in the new energy development that's coming on, various skills that are necessary for our young people. So before we go any further, I'll be asking some questions from Mr. John, and he'll answer some of those. But before we proceed, I'd like to ask Mr. John to introduce himself before we go any further. Mr. John?
Yeah, okay. Hello? How many Hawaiians in here? Alright, there you go. That's con, so that's just chain. Et considère. Alors, Tom Chee leadership on Diné Leaders. Out of it, the non leader at their homes, though. Should all eat a dinner shot, Korea, with history. I just want to say thank you to Matthew for getting all this together with us. And fellow presenters, thank you. And leaders and everybody that's interested, that's still with us this afternoon. I really appreciate you guys. And I'm a family man. I raised 8 of my own kids. Then on top of that, 2 boys came to me. And then after that, 3 boys came to me. And when they come to me, it seems that they're 8th graders, and finally they graduate and they get on their own and they go. And I raised 5 boys, and today we're raising 3 more girls. So again, they came to us as teenagers. So I don't know if my wife is in here. You see her right here? She's out there manning the San Juan College table for me. So although my wife and I were farmers, ranchers, and she's a public servant. And I work for the Four Corners Generating Station, Arizona Public Service Company. Anybody in the house from Arizona Public Service Company? There it is. Asian Saliaji, Ajanaji. Ajatati no Akachi Nafe. One evening, on night shift, we had a break room next to our control room, and there were some workers in there that works for me. They were looking through the newspaper and saying, "Hey, Ray, there's a position open at San Juan College right down here in Abbey to teach energy and operations." I said, So after they left, I ran over to the paper and I read it. I read the paper and I said, man, I better check into this. So I called my home office in Phoenix and I said, how far away am I from retirement? And they said, Mr. John, in November or late fall, you can go ahead and retire. So, do you want me to start the paperwork? And I said, oh, I'm coming back. So I called San Juan College and I talked to a guy named Mr. Otero, and he says, man, I'm looking for teachers. I really am looking for teachers. And besides that, you're a Navajo Indian, come join me. He was a Spanish guy, so hey, we need another brown skin here, he says. So I said, okay. And he said, well, you got to go through the process. And I went through the process. 6 weeks later, they offered me a job. And that's when I finally called the Phoenix office and said, I want to retire. And they said, well, you can't retire until October. There was no, it was June. So I called my Tony back. I said, hey, Tony, I can't wait. I mean, I gotta wait till October. He said, that's fine. So that's how I joined San Juan College. That was 2008. And then I retired in 2016. They called me back in 2017. So I just had 1 year of retirement. And then I went back to work, and even though I'm this old and I don't look as good as some of you guys anymore, but they want whatever's in here, right here. San Juan College wants to glean as much as they can from my mind to give to the students. Because what we do with the students is when they come in, they're broken hearted because their job was shut down. They can't concentrate because things are happening. They're living far away from the school, and they have to stay and live in their cars. This is back 10, 5, 6 years ago. Now we have a dormitory. A dormitory where we can house kids from far away. So that's a real good step for us. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry, you just asked me about who I was. So let's see. And now I'm thinking about retiring again in May 2025. So my boss said, okay, Ray, we're going to hire some people to replace you. So now I'm training 2 young men, and so that's good. Hopefully I leave next May. So I want to graduate with my 2025 students. So I'll graduate from work and they'll graduate from school. So now we can talk community.
Thank you, Shi. I see. Hastui hoyani ki hastui inagi khadi ya ro inagi lai nan chen wada yesi utang ye ebe ni che na hoti ko da sa shidna do shinan ta na sinigi. I was just thinking about my son here, that we are in a great need of men, mature, wise men across our nation. There's almost a sense of fatherlessness across our nation. Some due to leaving, divorce, whatever other, the majority of the fatherlessness that exists in the nation is because they have to get off the res, go work for months at a time. By the time they get home, they're totally disconnected from their families. So, my question to you, Shiga, how is that revealing itself at the college as you train young men for this type of work?
We graduate, I would say, about 25 students every semester that are ready to enter into the doors of the hiring companies. Companies like Pasco, companies like Intel, companies like ConocoPhillips, and right now BP is our major hiring partner, British Petroleum, and so that's what we do is they come to school and we have to literally work them up, stand them up. I have to tell them, you're in the right place, you're at the right time, with the right people. You're here with me. I'll help you. We'll go all the way through. Even if I have to walk you down the aisle to get your graduation degree, they start laughing. So that's what we do. We have to build these guys up. I'm talking about Navajos that are broken. Parents make them come to school. They don't want to be in school. And we have to go sit with them, talk with them, and then finally they're like, oh, I can do this. Yes, you can. And then they go to school and they finish school.
The other one that we have conversation with Mr. John is after they get out of this training and graduation, what companies literally grab these graduates? Where do they go, and what are some of the experiences they have in regards to leaving their home, their families again, to create income?
The biggest hiring company up to last year was ConocoPhillips, Southeast, a Permian Basin. That's where they're hiring most of our students. They go down there and they make good money. And they have good rotation, 7 days on, 7 days off. The company is trying to cater to them, to keep them, because they know that once they hire Navajos, they don't last out there. In the tribal or in the Navajo tradition, my grandmother used to tell me, we take that umbilical cord and we bury it with the sheep so the kid can become a sheep herder with the cows, so they can become cowboys, and at the school library so they can educate them. That's what my grandma used to tell me. I don't know where to put mine, but I travel all over the place. Anyway, so when our kids leave and they go down southeast and they have to live in men trailers, like a cramped housing unit. It's not the best housing situation, and have to use one restroom and one shower facility per trailer or whatever, and they don't like it because they're just not joining the company. If they stay with the company for a year, save their money, they can buy houses and stuff. But when I see them again, I ask them, how's work going? Oh, teacher, I'm sorry about that. I quit. I'm back. I said, why? Why? He said, my family needed me. I don't think so. I think they needed their family. I think that they're somewhere foreign to them. And in the traditional way, out of the sacred mountains. It's where that I need to continue to educate the Navajo people, the Navajo students, how to stay away and how to make a living. And about 25% of them comes back. And that's a lot. That's too much. That is too much. We want 100% of them to work wherever they find good jobs. But, okay, maybe you'll ask me about that later. Go ahead.
We were talking about also the historical background that has happened to us as indigenous people. I was put in boarding school at the age of 6 years old after I lost my dad. They put me in boarding school. I stayed there for the next 10 years, being forced to speak the language of English, trying to assimilate you through federal policies and federal dollars, and try to get this Indianness out of us over that time. Now, 50 years later, we're still attached to the land. There's some mystery that's the land, the pull of the land, the sacredness up there. Yeah, so instead of sending our young, bright people out to the workforce beyond our borders, I think this is the conference that we're having here truly reflects the need to create our own economic energy development within the nation so that our boys and young people can stay on the nation and make very similar job opportunity that exists beyond our borders. Do you see any of that change in thinking, or is there any conversation from that?
Yes, before I answer that, I want to brag about my kids. BP, you know who they are. They're in the GOM, Gulf of Mexico. And they asked for 10 students from our school at San Juan College, and they invited various universities and colleges to send their group of people to their job site to see, so they can hire some top-notch students. And when they got our students, a week later, my boss, who went with them, said, Ray, there is no difference. I mean, there is no comparison. She says that the bosses all say that our students outshines everybody else because of what we teach them and our facilities. I really encourage you guys to visit our facilities in Farmington, New Mexico. School of Energy, we're separate from the main campus. We're up on the hill. And I have another brother that teaches math over there. He says, oh, you're in the place where the sun don't shine, you just stay in the clouds. So that's where we're at. So we're not in the college itself, main campus, we're off the campus site, and we like it that way because we produce good students. And when we had 10 students, 5 female and 5 male, we sent them off, and then all 5 ladies got hired by BP, and 4 guys, and 1 guy wanted to continue school. And then one of the girls took a job with Arizona Public Service Company as a apprentice. So, and that really touches my heart. And that's the kind of school that we have. That's the kind of students that we produce. And we're so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. And I just love that. So, to answer your question, last week we had the sweetest news. One of the clean energy company came to our school. We had a job fair in the main campus, and then he ventured out and came to our school and found us working, and he says, can I talk to you guys? I said, yeah. He says, brought us all, both of us teachers into aside from the students, and he says, I want the next 3 to 4 graduating classes. I want to hire them, he says. And he says, we're gonna build a plant locally, we're gonna hire thousands to build it, and I will need 150 of those students to run and maintain the plant. And he said, I want to hire my 150 right now so I can train them from the go-get, and they will know where all the equipment, where all the wiring, where all the alarms are at. He says, that's what I want to do. Oh, that touched me. That really did. And I'm so glad, and I'm just so happy that we finally have a company that comes to us and said, I'm going to build a local company and a local plant, and I need your students. That is beautiful. That is wonderful. And I'm very, very happy for that.
Ray, I want to plead with you not to retire, but to refire and get in there. What I'm saying is, it's so exciting that there's a great cultural gap that we're dealing with here. The language, the culture, the land base, and also the very low socioeconomic level. The average income for our family on Navajo Nation, for a family of 4, is $7,000 a year. How many of us can raise our families at $7,000 a year, as opposed to $50,000, $60,000 for the national average? That gap that exists. And so what is the common denominator there? That is why I'm deeply gratified, Mr. John and I, of your presence as energy representatives of your company, to have a thick skin and also to have a tender heart with the conditions that we're dealing with. And the speaker base's comments about the process is so slow, so painful that it discouraged a lot of developers coming. I want you to come back, stay in there, and stay with us. Mr. John, thank you for this beautiful example that you put over 30-some years as a plant person, knowing that you had the ability to balance both things, Navajo language, English language. ability to purchase your own product. Folks, let me say this. On Navajo Nation, you cannot use your home, your land as an equity loan, or banks do not want to touch you. You can't borrow against your house or your land, your grazing permits. It's a no-no. It's all trust land. Well, the rest of America is enjoying your ability to purchase a home, sell it at a profit, put equity loan on it. So we're not buying. We're also the most marginalized group of people in America, other with people with disability. So this is who you're dealing with. And I'm pleading with you, pleading with Mr. John to say, stay in there, get these done. Some of your closing comments for you to express these thoughts.
Yeah. We have a program called Tribal Energy Management Studies, and I invite all the leadership of the Navajo Reservation to take that class. It is going to be good for you because it'll open up your eyes to what the Utes need, what our Apache neighbors need, what the Hickory Apache need. Everybody comes together, and then we have a training session. And I think they do this about once every month. They have a gathering that's 6 months long, I believe. So it is neat. It is, and then when you go through this program, you can get a certificate. And then if you continue there for a little bit longer, you can get a degree. And that is going to be awesome. Yet that way you understand energy, what energy is doing, how energy is being used, and how we're coming together as a tribe. Thank you.
Mr. John, I think you personified this. Can one be an Indian and a cowboy at the same time? And I was thinking that, and have this John Wayne stature and image. You're on the right horse, my friend. Thank you.